Hello, everyone, and welcome to Connecticut Film and TV Conference 2024. I am Frances Cordova, and I will be interviewing a few very important people today. You'll get to hear a lot about the industry and the things that they're doing, and a little bit more about their journey and some tips that may be able to help you on your journey. So, here with me today, I have Lorna James Rodriguez. Hi, thank you for being with me today.
Hi.
Lorna, when we're speaking before the interview, I just wanted to get an idea. Tell us about your journey. How did you get here today?
So you don't mean the car ride on 95, right? Is that what you mean?
So hopefully you hit traffic.
No, no, no. I guess my journey into the position I have now is it's not really your typical journey. I started life as I'm from London, England. Maybe I should start there. And I actually went to acting school in England. So I did acting for a number of years. I was in something that was on the West End. Eventually, I moved to America. I actually went to acting school in New York because I used to live in New York. Um, so I went to Lee Strasberg in New York. So I have a life of acting. And then at some point, I decided, when you're an actor, sometimes you think, oh, I wouldn't have used those words. I would have said it differently or written it differently, I guess in this case. And when I realized I had a voice that was not the voice of the writer, I had my own voice. I decided, I've got things that I want to say that nobody else is saying, or at least that's how I felt at the time. And I wasn't sure how to transition into anything. So a number of years went by, and then I had an opportunity to go to a short film course in New York. Even though I lived in Connecticut, I went to a short film course in New York, which I loved. And that actually led to me having my own TV show called Tea Time with Lorna. Being British, I drink a lot of tea.
That's awesome.
My son at the time was playing a lot of video games and he claimed he was making money. And he's like, well, you should do something where you can make money too and people can watch you. And I was like, well, I drink tea. So he's like, well, figure out a way to drink tea and have people watch you and make money. So
Smart kid.
that's how Tea Time with Lorna began as a TV show. I progressed. And then because I had done that film school, I was able to recruit people. One girl from the film school in New York coincidentally lived in Connecticut. So she was on my crew for the TV show for a while. And at some point I realized, I'd forgotten a lot of what I had already learned. So how could I just get back into doing it? Because, at 1 o'clock in the morning, if I had an idea to edit, I couldn't call anyone. So I was like, I need to be able to do all these things again. So I ended up at NYU.
I was gonna ask. I know we spoke about it.
Yeah, so that's how that's how I ended up at NYU. It was an amazing program. We did film, obviously. It's a filmmaking course. I did some writing classes that were really good, short films and things like that. I think everything kind of happened at the same time because at the same time, I also did some short film competitions with the 48-hour film project as a filmmaker.
Tell me a little bit about that 48-hour film project.
Okay, so as a filmmaker, you go to a designated place and you would have 48 hours literally in order to make a short film that had to be between 4 and 7 minutes. Um, it is the craziest 48 hours of your life. There's no sleeping and you find out who you really are. I was blessed because the woman that I'd met in my course in New York was already with me in Connecticut, so she was on the bandwagon with that. So I made a couple of films through the 48-hour film project, which I adored. And this year I was blessed to actually take over as the local producer for that. So it's been running for 14 years. Trish ran it for 13 years, and this is my first year as the film producer for that. And so that's kind of a short version of my journey.
No, it's great. I think it gives us an idea of how this industry works, right?
Yes.
It's not overnight, right?
Correct.
It's dirt, and I'm just going to ask you about that. Tell me a little bit about the obstacles that you face while in the industry.
Well, each part of my journey has been different because there was the journey as an actress, then there was the journey as a student, then there was the journey as the filmmaker, and now as the film producer of the 48, as I said. So each journey has had different obstacles. I found that as the filmmaker, when I was making my own short films, I had a lot of control because I could hire whom I wanted to hire. And a lot of times I also wrote some of the stuff because I'm also a writer. So that's when I was able to have my voice. And so it was what I wanted to say. Yes, I had input from others around me because I'm, very open to advice and I'm always listening because if somebody has an idea that's better than mine, I'm happy to hear them out. And if I can use it and we're all in agreement, yes, I'm happy to take that advice. So the challenges have been different depending on what stage I was at that time. But I found once you have creative control, that is the best place. Whatever that means to you, I found that that was the best place. The hardest place in retrospect was being the actress because you don't have a choice. You go where they tell you, you arrive when they tell you, you leave when you're done.
Yes.
So I found that that was the hardest for me, especially if I didn't agree with how things were said or done of these.
Understandable. Thank you. Thank you. So for people, out there watching, what is your number one tip? What would you say to them if they're just starting out?
I think my number one tip is flexibility. Be flexible wherever you are on your journey. If you are a student, haven't been a student, obviously, if you're a student, soak it up. Go wherever you need to go. Learn everything and try to decide what you want to really do. What do you want to focus on? Do you want to do editing? Do you want to be the director? Do you want to be a producer? Do you want to be the cameraman? Whatever it is you decide you want to do, perfect something first so that you have that to offer as you begin your journey. You can gain more skills as you go along, but my advice is pick something, get that together, and once you have that, you can broaden your horizon. And I say that to say I was never very good at editing, even though I learned how to edit. And what I found was over the years, I had to revisit editing to bring that skill back. So it's not something I do that often, and I brought the hire out. But if in a pinch, I can edit.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that. So on a day-to-day basis, right? You do filmmaking, you write, you do all these things. What does a people day look like for you?
So what I've started to do now is have, depending on if I have actual appointments, I'll have, let's say Monday. So I'm in the middle of writing. I know I've just changed or something. Yeah, I'm in the middle of writing a horror film. So I find that if I can start my mornings with writing something, that gets me going so that that project is going. My afternoons will depend. Do I have an appointment? Do I got meetings? Do I have a Zoom? Because I'm still doing those. And so creatively, maybe I do have something to edit in the afternoon. Maybe I'm doing some research for something else. So my afternoons tend to be very flexible, but my mornings, I'm trying to get this film written. And so I try to stick to the schedule of writing in the morning.
Thank you for sharing that. Now we're gonna go into personal life because I feel like, those things kind of go by the wayside when we're like enmeshed in projects. What do you want us to know about your personal life? What is life like for you?
Wow. On a personal level, well, I mean, my background is so varied because the other thing that actually got me into film, I have two undergraduate degrees. One is in exercise science and one is in athletic training. So that was part of my journey, surprisingly, because what I wanted to do at some point was to do some exercise videos. I never got around to it, but it was one of those, I should do some exercise videos. I never did. And then I did my master's in epidemiology. And again, I bring this up as part of the journey because while I was studying epidemiology, I was learning so much about health disparities that I was like, oh, I should make a documentary about this. So it was clear to me that my life was really supposed to go back to film because anything I was doing, I always had that, oh, I should make a film about that, or oh, I should do that. So I saw this was throughout my life, like just keep going. It was always somehow will tie back to film. So I was so grateful when all these opportunities just fell into place because while I haven't made that documentary, it's also on the list of to-dos. Yeah, I'd love to do that. So who's to say?
So it sounds like you have a lot of projects and a lot of things coming up. How do people contact you? Let's say somebody wants to intern, right? Somebody's in school for film or, something that's in the industry. They might want to intern or they may want to audition for one area roles. How do they contact you?
Well, the name of my company is Avion Film and Media Production. So I'm on social media. Everybody's on social media. They can find me through that. As the film producer for the 48-hour film project, I'm also on social media with that. So you can find me that way also. At the end of the day, you can find everyone on social media these days. So it's not that hard.
I guess my question when I ask that is because I think a lot of people may think many of us are not approachable, right? I've had people reach out to me to say, hey, can I get some tips on it? And I love talking to people because I was once that person. So I want to make sure that people know that it's okay to reach out. Oh, absolutely. And sometimes you find an opportunity just by saying hello to someone. I think that Connecticut does have so much talent, yet many of us are so disconnected, right? People are looking for people in Boston and New York because those are the hubs. But because we don't have as many networking opportunities, I want to make sure that we use this, platform as a way to connect. So people can reach out to you. Oh, absolutely. And just kind of pick your brain or just say hello. And
Yes, as part of the 48-hour film and also my own company, I have done workshops. So people are able to watch you follow on social media. You'll see what workshop I'm offering. So this year, almost said last year, I did an actors workshop. I did a sound development workshop. I did a film scoring workshop. I did a director's workshop. And those were open to whomever was interested in coming. So once you start to follow on social media, you'll just see what I'm doing at that moment. And yes, absolutely come. I had a mother actually reach out to me through Instagram and said that her son was interested in acting. And I said, absolutely, you should bring him along. So they came to the actors workshop. She actually left him, which was fine. He was 18. It was fine. And he stayed and he had a great time. He ended up in one of the 48-hour films. And she emailed me later on to say, thank you so much for the opportunity. He's been wanting to get into films for years, and you're the first person that has given him any tips. So, and that is amazing.
yes, we were like, yes, that's amazing. That's a great story. Thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you for your time with us. I'm so excited. Is there anything else that you would want anybody out here to know?
I think if you get an opportunity to work as an intern, take it. If you get an opportunity to do any of those things where you can gather more experience, you should take it. Don't worry so much about the money, because once you perfect your craft, money will come. But in the beginning, if you don't know anyone and your skills are so new, just get your foot in the door by just doing some of those tasks that you think other people might not want to do. Even if it's working in the mailroom, even if it's, I don't know, fetching coffee for someone, just start where you can, where the door opens, and be ready for an opportunity because it could come. You don't know where from, but just be ready.
Great words. Thank you so much, Miss Lorna James Rodriguez, for being with us today.